Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I learned after uploading more than 35,000 Redbubble designs. Now, just a little FYI, 90% I would say of the work of these 35,000 plus designs I have done by myself in a 1 year span time. Along, with the past few months, during really quarter 3 is when I brought some people in to train them and did the whole virtual assistant thing, which we'll be talking about. But there's a lot that I've learned along the way when it comes down to making money on Redbubble, and I would not have gotten this far if Redbubble wasn't profitable. Now, I'm not saying, guys, that you're gonna be a millionaire. I'm not saying you're gonna even be rich. You might be doing well financially doing something like this, but I'm not saying that it's going to solve necessarily all your problems. I don't want to sit here and give you guys a fairy tale. I want to give a realistic point of view. Now, once again, 35,000 designs is a lot, but it's possible anybody could sit here and do the same thing I did. Now, just to be clear, I did a video where I filmed essentially me talking about what I learned after creating 20,000 Redbubble designs, but that video got lost. I would have posted a while back, but it's gone, I guess you could say. So let's get into some of the content. First, let's talk about how I actually got here. How did I get to 35,000 designs? If you're new to the channel, maybe you've never seen my older videos, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Really not sure. Welcome, though. I had a large amount of designs prior to doing this whole consistency journey. For those who don't know, there was a period of time where I thought, okay, what can I do to challenge myself? And I said, let me get on this new platform, Redbubble. At the time, Redbubble wasn't new, but it was newer to me because I had not fully conquered it, if you guys know what I mean. Yes, I was doing well. Yes, I was making money, but I hadn't conquered it. This was after my whole monk mode period. Some of you may know about that. Some of you may not. But regardless, uploading 60 designs every day was kind of the goal. And I said, okay, let me see how long I could do this. And I did it for a month, and I said, this isn't the hardest thing in the world. Let's keep it going. And I actually made a decree to myself at that point that I want to do it for a whole entire year. And I started 2 months prior to January, which is exactly November 1st, and which is 60 days, because you have November, then you have all of December, then you have the new year. But roughly 60 days prior to the new year, that's when I started doing it. And so I've been doing it all the way through till the end of right before November 1st, and that's basically how it worked. It was the full year, 365 days. Obviously, every month is a little bit different. For example, you have January that has 31 days, so in that case, I uploaded 1860 designs for that month, and February, 28 days, the shortest month of the year, 1680 days, 1680 designs, rather, doing 60 designs every day for the year. Now, just to be clear, these stores that I had, these Redbubble stores, it's not like these designs were uploaded all in one store. In fact, prior to me doing this consistency kind of journey, I had one store with over 6,000 designs. I had another store with over 5,000 designs. I had another store with over 2,000 that I had lost, which, when I say lost, I mean I get the checks and the monthly payments. Once a month I get a payment from that, but I haven't logged into the store. I've never found the password since, but that was, part of the journey, right? So there was different things that went on before that, but started doing this whole thing consistently. At the end of it, came out with about creating 21,900 designs for that period of time. Now, during that period of time, I had, let's just say, about 10,000 before that we can actively count, and that was close to the 33,000 stage. And then during that period of time as well, during Q3, like I said, of this year, I had 3 to 4 VAs also doing anywhere from 30 to 60 designs per day as well, depending on how much they got paid. And doing the 30 to 60 designs a day, there's a lot of things I learned from them also, because, managing virtual assistants is something new, or was new to me at that time, specifically for Redbubble. I have, VAs and other things and, different things like that. I call them contractors because that's really what they are. They get paid based on the work that they get done. And it was, it was kind of a new experience to me. I had to train them, I had to teach them things, and these are things that I personally believe in when it comes down to Redbubble. Certain tactics, certain tricks, certain things that I had to essentially teach to the VAs. And it's all part of the game, okay? So how did I train my VAs? I'll just be very clear about this. I have 2 courses. You guys probably know about this that I actually sell to the public here on YouTube. I have the Redbubble tag course and I have the POD design course. One is specifically for traffic generation, which is the tag course, which includes more than just tagging. It's SEO, tagging, that whole thing. And then there's the other side of it, which is the asset creation, the creation of the creative, essentially, the designs, creating it in an effective manner, speedy designs. I have a design structure or a system. I call it my 3-step system. In the course, if you guys are familiar, I always leave these links in the description box down below. The POD design course, this is the website for it. I got them on these courses. My VAs had access to these courses because I wanted to train them. And everything I teach you guys in these courses is the same things that they get access to. So it's not like they have anything more. The only difference is after they do the courses, I get them on creating the designs. And what I learned was, and this is something kind of important, is I used to have the one VA specifically doing designs, another VA specifically responsible for doing the uploading and tagging and the SEO. What I learned was it was better to have one VA doing both, and then another VA doing both, and then another VA doing both, because overall it creates a more well-rounded individual when it comes down to the whole structure behind Redbubble. Because if you're creating the asset, you're creating the design, it's very important to understand how to tag it as well, how to upload it. Maybe the person who's the designer might have different structure of thought for the tagging process, etc. So it's important to do both or learn both. I thought I was doing myself a favor by segmenting it, kind of like when one VA is responsible for one thing, another VA is responsible for another thing. I was completely incorrect. But let's continue. So they get access to the courses for training. So the Redbubble tag course, they get access to that. POD design course, they get access to that. And after they upload their designs, we go on there and we do a one-on-one review. So for literally a whole entire month, every single day, specific times, we review the work that they did the previous day. Going over it, telling them the things that I liked, that I didn't like, and that was it. So now let's actually talk about the things that I've actually learned through my process of doing this whole thing alone, trying to figure things out without the VAs. So number one, this might be obvious to some people, and this might not be so obvious to some people, but scale matters, okay? A lot of people are looking for some really big numbers to do on Redbubble. They want multiple sales a day in the 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50 sales a day. They want, $100 a day, $500 a day. Some people want $50 a day. It differs. Obviously, everybody's on different levels. But scale matters. You want more money, you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to produce more. So many times when VAs create designs, and this is really where it stood out, there would be certain designs where I'd be like, no, this is never going to sell. This is never going to sell. It's never going to make money. It's never going to do well. And then I'm proven incorrect. It ends up selling. And it really, really impresses me. Almost stunned in a way, like, wow, I can't believe that actually sold. And that's really where it comes into play, where the truth is that the more you produce, the luckier you get. Let's just assume that your skill level doesn't go up, even though I'm a big proponent of doing more, because your skill level will go up over time. You will get better naturally at what you do. We can attribute this to literally anything, playing sports, studying for exams. Literally whatever you can attribute this to. The more you do something, you get better at it. Just point blank period. Might take some time longer for other people than, other groups, but generally, the more you do something, the better you get. And that really wasn't really the whole focus for me. The whole focus was, for this point at least, is that the more you produce, the luckier you get. And there are certain designs that, like I said, never would I thought they would have sold from VAs and from my end, at least in the beginning. But essentially I got lucky. And sometimes it is a numbers game, believe it or not. You have a higher chance to sell if you just have more assets out there. And I do, guys, look at each Redbubble upload as an asset. I do. Whether it makes a penny a year, whether it makes 10 pennies a year, whether it makes $1,000 or $100 or even $10,000 a year. they're all assets in their own right because they're all producing. Effectively, they don't really cost me any money to put them up there. Now, there is a whole conversation of, you don't own the assets. Technically, Redbubble owns them. They could get rid of you at any moment, and that's true. And that's why we do the Shopify series, to show people how to take power into your own hands and run your own Shopify store so you can go to bed at night not worrying about if your work is going to be taken down and actually how to run it profitably. But once again, that's a different conversation for a different video. That stuff, those concerns do exist, and they are very real, and they're very important. But at the end of the day, we're talking about Redbubble here, and scale matters. Put it that way. Okay, this is a little bonus tip. I don't do Redbubble for fun. I know this might sound crazy, but when you get to the point of you're doing uploads every single day, it becomes almost like a job. Now, it's not a job in the fact that I have to do it, because I don't have to. But I told myself I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to struggle to do something new. And for a whole year, I committed to it. I don't want to say I didn't have much to do, because I do have other businesses that I work on. I have blogs. I have literally a portfolio of blogs that produce income and that I have to work on a daily basis to make sure everything's running smoothly, make sure the websites are updated, make sure they're in terms with Google SEO, things like that. But, there's more to it than meets the eye. It's not like I'm just drawing or just having fun, doing the work all the time. I try to make the best of it, but I don't do this for fun. And I know this might sound crazy once again, but sometimes you have to be hard on yourself. If you really want to go to a new level of income, you might have to do what people aren't willing to do. Just like literally, that's the easiest way I can say it. I really wanted to do it just to secure more passive income. I really didn't care about the fun aspect of it. There were many days where, I had worked the whole entire day, and I had realized I had not uploaded my 60 designs. I said, okay, I have to do it, and I'll spend an extra hour doing it, And for anybody who's curious, it takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour if I'm really, really good for that day, or really sharp for an hour. But some days it could take, an hour and 15, hour 20, hour 30. In the course, the POD design course, it takes me just as much time to upload them as creating them. And in the course, I showed creating something like 63 designs or something like that in 34 minutes. So it's not, odd for me to get numbers like that and get the work done. And I show that how to do that in the course. I don't show that publicly, but regardless, it is what it is. So no, it's not all the time fun. It's not all the time, parties and, relaxation. No, this is, I treat it like a business. I don't treat it like an artist would treat it. An artist typically would just, spend hours and hours and hours endlessly designing the same design, trying to make it perfect. I don't do that. I have a structure to make money on Redbubble, and it's been working ever since. So, and so on. All right. Best decision I've made was diversifying. This is a little story I have to say, recent experience. But I've said this before on YouTube over and over and over again. I do not create more than 60 designs a day for a whole entire month's period on more than one store. I only stick to one store for that month. Meaning, if it's month number 2 or number 3, I'm on store number 2 or store number 3. I'm not sitting there on store number 1 in month number 3, racking it up to 5,000 designs. It does not happen. Usually, once the month is over, when I say usually, it's 100% of the time for the year. Obviously, I had stores before that didn't follow that path, which I regret. But once again, if the month is over, it's a new store. I do not go back to that store. The very specific reason that I said in the beginning was diversifying, but it actually came into a fruition relatively recently. I have a VA, for those who don't know. She was essentially, and she watches this YouTube channel, so she's a watcher of mine, and that's actually, I made a post on this YouTube channel. I said, if you want to work for me, VA, apply in the description box down below. She applied. I liked her work, etc. But regardless, she was working for me as a VA, and first store got suspended. Well, when the store got suspended, other 2 stores were up, and she's working on a third one currently. If I had made her do all the designs on one store, that store would have been gone, and I would have been out for the month's paid of salary. Okay, not just that, but I would have lost all the assets. But diversifying, at least the first store got suspended, but not the others. And I purely look at this as a business, zero emotional. Okay, if something gets taken down, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm just going to keep moving forward. I know some people don't look at it that way, but that's just the way I have to look at it because I treat it like a business. Once again, I don't do this for passion. I don't do this for fun. I do it for money. All right. Number 3, 70 to 80% of my traffic comes from Google/organic. Now, this is where I was wrong. I actually used to say this before in a lot of my videos where I would say about 60%. But what I realized is that a lot of those older stores that were generating the lower numbers of SEO traffic, or organic rather, the SEO started to really kick in. And it only took a few months for me to start seeing results. And that's why, if you guys notice, if you guys have been watching ever since the very beginning of this whole Redbubble kind of thing that I've been making these videos, you can visibly see the difference between like month 2 or 3, where I was talking about 60% of the traffic, versus, a few months ago, 3-4 months ago, where you heard me talk about 80 to 70% of my traffic comes from Google. What I realized is that the longer, and this is not all the time, it's not for all people, because some people their designs are not necessarily SEO optimized, but they'll create a design or create designs that will get some Google traffic, and for some people, their traffic might be much lower. Once again, but for me, 70 to 80% of my traffic comes from organic. I used to say a lower number, but I realized that it took longer for certain designs to essentially kick into the algorithm. The best way that I can kind of describe it without getting too in depth to the specifics. But SEO, the value essentially went up, even regardless of my Instagram and promo on Pinterest and Twitter kind of marketing. Now, for those who don't know, that will bring us to the next point. I use automation. I mean, some people don't like that. Some people think it's a bad thing. It is what it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry to say, very sorry to hear that you don't like it, but at the end of the day, it makes money, and that's what I do, and that's what I use. I use Instagram automation, I use Twitter automation, I use Redbubble automation, all these things. And when I say automation, I'm not automating the upload process. That doesn't make you any actual money. That just helps you upload faster. I'm talking about doing the marketing for me. So for those who don't know, there's a website called Bots and Apps. Once again, if you're a viewer from the channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not a viewer, you probably don't know. But this is an Instagram bot that literally helps you get more followers. More followers equals more attention. More attention equals more money. When you promote your products properly, you can make more money. Follow Instagram automation tool. We have the Twitter. Follow, unfollow, like, which I've been working heavily on. I've been trying to really hone in on the comments section, trying to get better with that. But, that's a work in progress for me. I'm not perfect. I do learn and trying to work on things. But to give you guys like a little spectrum of how much traffic we can get on a store, we can get thousands upon thousands of visits every single month. Now, this is including everything. This is including the Twitter, the Instagram, the organic, plus the Redbubble automation. But really, when you add in the Redbubble automation, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I would not consider, by the way, the Redbubble Rocket Tagger tool to be Redbubble automation. This is not Redbubble automation. That's literally just a keyword tool, okay? I don't consider that Redbubble automation. I do consider Redbubble Favorite Automator to be automation because I'm literally automating the process of getting more attention on Redbubble. When I do use this, it literally changes everything. I've made videos before on this. You can literally check my YouTube channel, but I've shown how much traffic you can get from an automation tool just off of 250 likes. So I'll just go over here and go to Autopilot Passive Income, and you could go here and type in likes, traffic, something like that, and you could actually see, I'm trying to figure out where the video is, but let's see here, Redbubble favorites. Let's type in Redbubble traffic. Redbubble traffic, okay? Let's see. Sorry, guys, just bear with me here for a minute. There's a video that I uploaded showing how much traffic we received. I think this was it, actually. This is the first one. Okay, so this was the video that I uploaded showing how much traffic I received from doing the Redbubble automation, the favorites. Now you could see here, I whipped out the numbers, like something like within the first few days, we got 97 visitors on Redbubble, 44 organic, 16 from Redbubble, 18 social media, which once again, I have no idea how we did that in a matter of a day. I don't know how we got social media traffic. I wasn't even promoting it on social media. But I guess when you get out there, people share things on social media, people do things, 9 other, 10 direct, etc. And I didn't even show this to YouTube at the time. When I had got this traffic, this video had uploaded days later, because the whole point of the series, the whole point of the experiment was to grow the Redbubble account without sharing it on YouTube. Once I grew it, shared it on YouTube, and showed how it works, because I didn't want the YouTube audience to influence the actual growth. But once again, that's a different video for a different time. That's what the Redbubble automation tool does for you. It gets you a lot of traffic from all different areas. I really don't know the science behind it. I'm sure, if you message the creators or something, they can tell you. But you guys saw it firsthand. I wasn't making that up. That was a video showing live how to do it with very, very small numbers of automation, by the way. It wasn't difficult. We did that in less than a day's worth of work and got the job done. Now, if you recall, in one of my previous videos, I did something similar to this style video a while back, where I thought, genuinely, that social media's conversion rate was a consistent like 9 to 10%. Google's was about 4.5%. I was wrong. Once again, this is where I'm going to point out I was wrong. What I realized was, whether you're doing the Instagram and Twitter, the promo outside of Redbubble, or you're just simply going with organic, the conversion rates are not always consistent. They differ, and they depend on the market and the niche that you're in. This is what I had solidified. Now, hindsight is 20/20. It makes perfect sense. But back then, because of the type of stores that I was running, I thought it would just be every store like that. And that's not the truth. When I started switching up the niche completely, started switching things up, I started to realize, okay, things are different. But when the niche was relatively the same on Redbubble, everything was relatively the same. The strategy was the same, the numbers were the same, the conversion rates were the same. So just to put things into perspective, on the various different stores and different niches I have with Redbubble right now, the Google or the organic can be sometimes as high as a 13% conversion rate and as low as a 2%. The social media can generate 12% to 1%. Now, those numbers are about the same for each one. What I have noticed is that social media is just a hint lower sometimes. Obviously, depending on the situation, a hint lower than the organic is. Now, once again, other stores I have that the social media is much higher. It just, like I said, it differs. It differs on the situation. I used to think that social media was about 9 or 10, and the Google was about 4.5. I was wrong. Once again, I was wrong. I can admit that. Now, for those who don't know what a conversion rate is, it's very, very simple. Don't worry, it's not that complicated. Conversion rate just simply means how many customers bought out of the amount of visitors. So, for example, if 100 people visit your Redbubble store, 5 people purchase, then you have a 5% conversion rate. That just put things into perspective. So the way you calculate that is you go to your Google Analytics after you connected your Redbubble to your Google. Go to your Google Analytics. Now, you can use the Redbubble, like the built-in analytics. I personally don't use it as much because it's not very accurate. The better you get at, when I say accurate, it's not that the numbers aren't accurate. It's just that you can't specifically know certain details. Put it that way. You don't know what page they're ending up on, what links, what products are getting more attention than others. With Redbubble, with the Google Analytics, you can know all that. You can know all that information. You can know what products are getting more attention than others. You can know, which ones are. Essentially, you get to know a lot more information. So what I do is take all the traffic, take that number. Take the number of customers, right, or the number of sales for the month from Redbubble, and then do the math. And then I have also link trackers on the social media links, on the links, so that whenever somebody from social media clicks and purchases, I have a pixel cookie tracker, tells you how much they purchased, how much they didn't purchase, etc. For those who don't know, Alex Becker has a product called Hyros, relatively expensive, but I use it for pretty much all my businesses to track the analytics. But once again, that's more of like an agency product. But regardless, not trying to promote his product or say anything about that. But that's I guess you could say something for a different time. All right. So next video, since we're talking about Instagram and Twitter, I would say that the traffic contributes to about 25%, maybe a little more, sometimes 27%, sometimes 28%, maybe on the very high 32% of traffic. Now, once again, you have to keep in mind that we're talking about with Redbubble automation as well. Redbubble automation can generate 10,000 visitors for the month, 15,000 visitors for the month. So when you do the math on that, when Instagram bots and Twitter bots are generating by themselves, just them two, not including Pinterest, but generating about 25% of the traffic from 15,000 visitors, or excuse me, about 20,000 because 15,000 are just from the automation tool. You got to do the numbers and the math on that. That's, if a quarter, you're looking at about 5,000 visitors just off of Twitter and Instagram. Now, that's not all the time. That's in a good situation. Sometimes it might be 3,000, 5,000, depending, or, 2,000, depending on how big or small the store is, depending on the niche. I might have a niche in, store in the hunting niche, which could be much, much bigger than a niche that's in the holiday seasonal, niche. So, obviously, everything, and it depends on the time of year, right? Because hunting, certain times of the year you could do certain things, but regardless, you guys hopefully get the point of what I'm trying to say. That Instagram, Twitter bots contribute to about 25% of my traffic. Now, obviously, if people are out there not using the Redbubble automation tool, not really caring about SEO, and they're just using the Instagram and the Twitter, then that's going to contribute to majority of their traffic, right? Because if it's their first month, the SEO hasn't really kicked in yet 100%, and they're just using social media, it's not, you guys get what I'm saying. It's different circumstances, different situations. Now, everything does change, like I said, when using the automation tool. So I'm referring to this automation tool for Redbubble. You guys have seen, like I said in that video, how crazy the traffic can be. And there are no limits really to the tool, so it depends how much you're using it. Some people might do 5,000 automations a day. Some people might do 500. Some people might do 250. Some people might do 6,000. Some people might do 10,000. It just differs. Redbubble doesn't ban people for doing it, so it really just depends on you and your situation. But that's what I kind of learned. And yes, I do stand firm on what I previously said. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I do not visit Instagram or Twitter if it has nothing to do with business. If it doesn't have to do with the bots, automating the account, growing the accounts, selling products, making money, I don't visit them. I find social media to be relatively a waste of time. I had really no interest in social media anyway, but that's really what I use it for. Selling all different types of things, from my blogs to the Redbubble products, to the Zazzle, to the TeePublic, etc. I use it for the social media. Now, granted, you don't really need the social media, but then again, it's a steroid. Some people could be leaving an extra 100 sales, 20, 30, 50, 60 sales, depending on, who's really controlling that account and how good you are at using that account. You could be leaving money on the table, and I know so many people that do. TikTok is now really in. A lot of people like to use TikTok, but it gets harder when you're promoting just a t-shirt, which is why Instagram is really good for that. TikTok is a lot of the, at least what I've seen, a lot of the good advertisable products go on there, but that's a different conversation, like I said, for a different story. Lastly, if I had known, I would have done this earlier. So for those who don't know, I've made YouTube videos probably around month 7 or 6 or maybe even 8 around using the unlimited tool. So for those who don't know, the unlimited tool is right here. If you look at the corner of my browser, hopefully you guys can see this, the corner of my browser, this tool, where you can search for any image. So I could search for a picture of a horse, for example, okay? I love horses, so let's just search a picture of a horse. So I search for a picture of a horse, and there's a bunch of different pixels that come up. I can legally use these images and sell them and make money off of them. I can't do that with other websites. If I use something from Pexels, even though those images are free, I legally cannot allow, legally is a weird word because Redbubble has nothing to do with the law, but I can't take those images from Pexels and slap them onto Redbubble. I would get my store banned, and it's happened many times to many people. So I use this platform instead, And I've recommended to people, get the app for a month. If you're really, really on a tight budget, download as many images as you can because it's unlimited. I can download literally as many as I want. Download them, upload them to your Redbubble store, and just keep going on. If I had known about this earlier, I would have used it. And I would have made a whole lot more money, and I would have let my virtual assistants handle it. Sometimes when you have virtual assistants, they just can't grasp the concept of designing. They're just not good at it, whatever you want to call it. They're just not good at it. So for those people, for those virtual assistants, I let them use this tool, get the job done. And it actually works really, really well. Now, for different platforms, I have different strategies. Like you guys have seen my Society 6 video. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. How I made $4K per month on Society 6. When I use Society 6, I use solely this tool. 0 designs are created on Society 6. 0. Not even a single one. Solely this tool do we use for Society 6, nothing else. But everybody else is different. Like I said, everybody has their own methods, their own things. If you guys want to check out that video, I'll leave that video in the cards, and I'll leave it in the description box down below if you want to check out that video. But that's really it. These are a lot of and granted, I learned a lot of different lessons, but I would say in terms of profit, in terms of money making, these are probably some of the strongest lessons you can learn. That most of your traffic is going to come up from Google and organic if you're doing things the right way with Google and organic. And by the way, for those who may not be fully aware to how beneficial this is, let me just paint you a picture. You're getting Google traffic. You're getting organic traffic. You're sitting back. You're on the beach. You're sleeping. You're cooking. You're at work. You're building a different business, whatever it is, and sales come in without you doing the marketing, without you hopping on Instagram, without you hopping on Twitter, without you hopping on Pinterest or TikTok, focusing how to promote your store. That's the benefits of the direct or the Google, right? The organic, all that. Not direct. Google organic, right? The benefits. Those are the benefits. Okay. Instagram, Twitter, I realize that the conversion rates differ from the organic on every store, every niche. Every niche is different. I used to think that it was a certain amount per situation. That's not true. Okay, I was wrong about that. And you guys have seen the video. So hopefully this video helps out. These are just some of the things I learned, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.